assessment test, I have chosen the first use case, which is hotel reservation system. So first, we need to create a database to store and manipulate our data. So I have named my database as Hotel Res, and we need to use the database to perform all these operations. And according to the given schema, we have created 5 tables, including all the primary keys and the foreign keys. So this is the rooms table, the guest table, reservations table, bookings table, and the payments table. So we have just created the table, we didn't insert our values yet. So for that, we are inserting our values into the database as follows. So I have created 5 rows for each table. So here's the code: the rooms table, the guest table, the reservations table, bookings table, and payments table. We have inserted all these values into our table. Let's run this. The database is successfully created. We have created our tables. The next step is we're going to insert our values. Done. And the next step is to execute our queries. The first one, we are going to calculate the total revenue earned from the confirmed bookings. So the query is select sum of B dot total amount as total revenue. So total revenue is the alias given to the total amount from bookings B. Here bookings B, the letter B is the alias given for booking, so that we can use this shorter notation for the upcoming process or for this particular query. Where B dot is confirmed is equal to 1. So wherever is confirmed is equal to 1 indicates that it is a confirmed booking. So we are going to add up all these. So let's execute the query. So the total revenue earned from the confirmed bookings is 1750. The second query is to retrieve the guest who has made the most bookings. So we are going to select the user's first name, last name. The G stands for the guest table, and we have counting B dot booking ID as number of num bookings. So num bookings is the alias given to the booking ID, that is the count of the booking ID from the guest table. Now we are going to perform an inner join on the guest table and the reservation table based on the guest ID column. And then we are performing an inner join operation on the reservation table and the bookings table based on the reservation ID. So this will link each reservation to the corresponding booking ID. Now we are grouping by the guest ID. So it groups by the guest ID one by one. And we are ordering by the number of bookings in the descending. DESC stands for the descending order, because by default it arranges all the values in the ascending order. So the limit 1 stands for the first value. So when we arrange it according to the descending order, the first value is probably the one who have made the most bookings. So we are limiting it by 1 and we get only the first value. So when we run this query, so John Doe is the customer who have made the most bookings. So the third query is to retrieve the total number of rooms. Select count star as total rooms from the rooms table. So total rooms is the alias given to the count of all. So when we select and run this query, so the total number of rooms is 5. Next query is to find the total amount paid using each payment method. So in our table, we have two types of payment method, which is credit card and cash. And now we are going to find the total amount paid using the credit card as well as the cash. So select payment method and sum of amount as total paid. Total paid is alias. From the payments table, group by payment method. So I'm grouping it by payment method so that the amount will be added to each of these according to the payment method. So if we run this query, we get the output as, so the total amount paid using credit card is 1300 and the total amount paid using cash is 750. The next query is to retrieve the email address of the guest who have not made any reservations. So now we're going to find the email ID of all the guests who have not made any reservations. So we're going to select email from the guest table where guest ID not in. So here's the subquery. Select guest ID from reservations. So this particular query gives us all the guest ID from the reservations, and the not in specifies that the email ID or the guest ID who have not made any reservations. So we are selecting that particular email of the corresponding guest ID. So we run this query. So we didn't get any output. This means that all the guests have made reservations. So the next query is, find the total number of guests who have made bookings. Select count distinct guest ID. So this selects only the unique guest ID. So if 1 and 1 repeats, select only 1 as total guests. So this is the alias given to the distinct guest ID from the reservations table. So when we run this query, so the total number of guests who have made bookings is 5. Change the room type of a specific room. So first, let's select star from rooms. I have used the star because we have only 5 rooms, but we have more number of rows, like in thousands or 10,000s. It's not recommended to use the star as it will be complex. So first let's select star from rooms. So the room 101 has the room type standard. Now let's update the room type. So update rooms, set room type is equal to suite where room ID is equal to 101. So before we saw the type of room number 101 as standard, now we are going to update it as suite. So when I run this query, it's successfully run. And when I select star from rooms, see, we have updated the room type of room number 101 as suite.